welcome back to Seated in Heavenly Places, where we are being raised up together with Christ and seated in the heavenly realms. I'm Disciple Jade, and welcome to my channel. If you are new here, go ahead and subscribe, hit the bell icon so that you'll be the first notified each time I upload a video. And if you are returning, thank you so much for your continuous support. It truly means a lot. So who's ready for story time? YouTube calls it story time. I like to call it testimony time, because you see Revelations 12:11 says, and they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and the word of their testimony. And then we learn in Psalms 105 verse 1 that, oh, give thanks to the Lord, call upon his name and make known his deeds. So yes, I want to testify. Yes, I want to make known his deeds. Yes, I want to share the goodness of the Lord. So let's embark on this journey. I want to share the story of how God paid my college tuition. So with any story, I have to start from the beginning. So let me just give you guys like a brief rundown of my history with college, because it had been rough from the start. So when I graduated high school, I went to college. Well, I went to a community college because I scored so low on the ACT that I couldn't get into a university. So I went to one of our local community colleges because I was told that if I went there for 2 years, then I could transfer to a university. But it just so happened that not only did I go to this community college, so did half of my graduating class. So can you imagine us all together, fresh out of high school, at this community college with different rules? It was an epic fail. My grades were poor. I was partying, late to class. To add insult to injury, I got pregnant that year. And then also, I didn't really know how to do my financial aid. So then I got into a financial crisis and had to drop out because I didn't have any financial aid to cover the next semester. So I had my daughter, and I dropped out of college, and I was out of school for about 3 or 4 years. And then I attempted to go online. That's when I realized that online was not for me. So I accumulated more debt, yet I still don't have a college degree. I dropped out once again. By this time, I was kind of in my early 20s. It wasn't until my mid-20s is when I decided, okay, let me go back to college, because, you know, I'm working 2 jobs, and I want to be able to provide for my daughter, and I don't want to have to always work 2 jobs for the rest of our lives. It was my thought process at that time. So I called the school that I went to when I was around 18, the community college, and I had a balance. So I paid that balance, and I got back into college. But here's the thing. Because my grades were so poor, because my ACT scores were so poor, I literally had to start from the bottom. I had to, for 1.5 years, I took classes that were not college credit. So it kind of seemed like for 1.5 years, I was taking all these classes, but I'm not getting credit for them, but I'm having to pay for it. But it's to prepare me, so when I get to the classes that are accredited, I'll be prepared. I had to take like a beginner's reading, beginner's language. You know, I had to take all these classes just to prepare me for the college levels. So I did that for 1.5 years. And then after 1.5 years, I was able to get into the college level classes, and I did that for another 1.5 years. And usually you only have to go to school for 4 years. I'm already basically at the 4-year mark, and I haven't even gone into the university yet, which there's nothing wrong with graduating from a community college and getting your associates, but I had desired a bachelor's degree, so that's what I was trying to pursue. So once I did take all the college classes that were accredited, I then was able to transfer to a university. So I go into the university, and since I do have a child and I'm working 2 jobs, it's impossible for me to go during the daytime. So I enrolled in night classes, and they were clusters, which were accelerated, which also meant that instead of 16 weeks, my class was broken down 10 weeks sometimes, 11 weeks, 13 at the max. So everything was crammed. So I'm working these 2 jobs. I'm in a university. I'm a mom. Somewhere along that line, somewhere in there, I got married. Somewhere in there, I got divorced. So I'm still working 2 jobs. You know, I really want this degree because I'm like, I really want to be able to take care of my daughter with one job. You know, I thought it would just be her and I forever. So I had that mentality that I have to get this degree. I can't stop at anything. I have to be able to get a job where I could take care of us for the rest of our lives. So fast forward, I am at the university for about 2 years and it's time to graduate. I'm 3 classes away from graduation. So I was given 2 options. I could walk in the spring and complete those classes during summer, or I could complete those classes during summer and walk in winter. So I opted to walk in spring so that it's warm outside and my family could all attend and I could take pictures in my robe. So graduation came. Graduation came. I walked, but my degree holder is empty because they're not going to give you your degree until you pass those 3 classes. So I have my graduation. Summer comes, I enroll in those 3 classes, and these classes were math. Like, it was statistics, business math, and some other math I had never even heard of. I got in those classes, y'all. They were the hardest classes, whatever you want to call them, the hardest thing I had to ever do. The class was so intense, I could not keep up and I was failing. So I immediately dropped it. So I was like, okay, I'll just try it again in fall. So fall came. I tried it online. Now, what made me think that if I couldn't do it in the classroom during the summer, why would I go online? Well, anyway, I'm like, this is my last semester. I'm a senior. I've already walked. I'll just take these online. Oh my goodness, what was I thinking? They were so hard. I got out of that, so I had to drop it again. So that means I have to wait till spring rolls around to get in those classes again. But I just graduated in spring, so it's like a whole year is going by and I have yet to get my degree, and I'm still working these 2 jobs. And the only thing I could think of is, Lord, I just want to provide for my daughter. I get in the classes after I've dropped them twice. I get in the class, I complete the 16 weeks, and I fail these classes by 3 points. I failed by 3 points. I was devastated. I had hired a tutor. I was going to class twice a week from 6 to 10 p.m. Also, some of the classes I took at a different school, so I was going to 2 different schools. One I was using my loan and FAFSA money to pay for. The other I was paying out of pocket just so I can get these classes done so I can get my degree. And I failed. Like, even though one of them I did pass, but you have to pass all 3, and so I failed and I was devastated. A year had passed since I had walked, did not have my degree. I was devastated. I was depressed. I was crying about it, praying, fasting. And so it's almost summertime. I was getting ready to enroll, and I found out that I could not enroll because I had an outstanding balance. So after going through all this, and I forgot to tell you guys, I'm at like year 6. The average person gets their degree in like 4 years. I'm at year 6. I'm so close to the finish line. I'm so close, but so many things kept coming up. I could not get through this class. And then finally, you know, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try it again. Try to enroll, and I have a balance. I was devastated. So it was like almost $2,000, and I didn't have $2,000 at the moment. And I was engaged, and our wedding was like maybe 3 or 4 months away, and so most of my money had went into that. And it's like, do I cancel this wedding and try to come up with this money? I mean, I'm so close to it. And so the summer went by and I just didn't enroll. Fall went by, I didn't enroll, you know, and I just was like, I'm 3 classes away from having my degree. You know, I'm 3 classes away from having my dream job and things like this. So I was really devastated. So one day I decided I was going to fast and pray. And I just, you know, fast and I prayed and cried out to God. And I remember it was a Sunday. My bishop brought a message, and he was talking about how the Lord blessed him with a car that he didn't have to put any money down for. And I was like, wow, that's so great. I want to go back to school, but I don't want to put any money down. So by this time I did have the money to pay for school. So I heard that message on Sunday and I called my school on Monday. And I remember talking to the lady, and she's like, yeah, you owe $2,000 and some dollars. I'm going to go ahead and direct you to the person who you will pay the payment to, and then they will take the lift off your account. So I was like, okay. And so she has me on hold and she transfers me over to him, and I get his voicemail, and I'm like, okay. So I left him a message to call me back, and in between that time I'm praying like, Lord, I don't want to pay this bill. And I had the money, but I just did not want to pay this bill. I'm like, Lord, if you did that for Bishop, you will do it for me, God. He got a car. He didn't have to pay nothing. Lord, all I want to do is just go to school. I just want to take care of my daughter. Lord, I know you are our provider. I just made it so for Lord. This is like a dream of mine, Lord. Please just bless me to get back in school and not have to pay a dime. I'm going to get serious. I'm going to pass these classes, God. You're going to get all the glory. You're going to get all the honor. So finally, the guy calls me back and he's reading the screen and he's like, yeah, you owe such and such, such and such. And then he goes, but wait a second, let me call you back. And I'm thinking, what? Does business like this? I just called to pay a bill and you just said, hey, let me call you back. So he said he'll call me back, and in the time from him calling me back, I went back to praying. I'm like, Lord, please, Lord. I'm like begging God. I'm like, Lord God, I need a miracle, Father God. Lord, I need a miracle, oh God. Lord, there is nothing too hard for you, God. My phone rings again, and it's this guy, whoever he is. And he's like, okay, yeah, so you owe $2,000 and some dollars, blah blah blah. So I grabbed my wallet because I'm going to go ahead and just make the payment. I grab my wallet, I take my card out, and he says, hey, but you know what, give me, let me call you right back. And I'm like, again? So when he did that the second time, I'm thinking, okay, maybe this is the Lord. Maybe this is the Lord. Something is going on. I've never called anywhere to pay a bill and somebody said, let me call you back. Then they call you back and say, let me call you back. So I went back to praying. I set my wallet down and I'm like, Lord, I just need a miracle. I was at work, sitting at my desk. Lord, I need a miracle, oh God. Lord, I know you can do it. My phone rings again. Ooh, this is it, y'all. My phone rung again. And it's this guy, he says, I don't know how this mistake was made. There is money in your account to cover these 3 classes. Like, I did a little digging, but I don't know how this could have happened, how this mistake could have happened. Like, you have money to be in these classes. You could have been in your classes. And at that moment, because I was standing up, when he said, you can get back into school, you don't have to pay anything. I had stood up and my legs just gave out. I just was on the floor. I was just bawling, crying. I was hysterical, but I was so thankful. I was so grateful. I was just like, thank you, Lord. It was nobody but God. Nobody but God. Oh, thank you, Lord. I get emotional telling this story because I was receiving bills each month from school, and each month the balance was going up and up and up. And each time I would call and talk to someone, they will give me the same number. But this man, oh my God, he says, I don't know how this mistake was made. Oh no, 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 no. This was not no mistake. This was the grace of God. This was the mercy of God. This was the favor of God. This was the faithfulness of God. He hears our prayers, and he is faithful, and he is a good God, and he is our provider. This was no mistake. Oh, but I left this pour out. I left this pour out because I did move in faith. When he called the 3rd time, I grabbed my wallet and I got ready to walk to my phone, and I said to myself, if I'm expecting the Lord to clear this balance for me, I don't need my wallet. I'm not taking my wallet to the phone. I set my wallet down, and that was then when he told me, hey, I don't know how this mistake was made. And the Lord paid my college tuition. I enrolled in my classes, and the Lord gave me supernatural intelligence, you guys. Okay, I was praying, daily. I was fasting. I hired a tutor. I ended up with an A in statistics, an A in business math, an A in whatever that other math was. Like, the Lord gave me supernatural intelligence. I was passing these tests. In fact, the Lord had blessed me so much in this class and gave me so much favor. I started tutoring the students in the class and started helping them, because I know what it was like to struggle in that class. So yes, that's the story of how the Lord, he blessed me, guys. Oh, I just bless your name, God. There's just none like you, God, in all the earth, God. Lord, you were just a good God. Lord, you were just, you were faithful, God. You're holy, God. You're loving. I just bless, come and magnify the Lord with me. And you see, God is not a respecter of a person. If he did that for my bishop, he did it for me. He can do it for you. Just pray, but you have to pray in faith. Because see, on that third time, I picked up my wallet and then I set it back down, because I'm like, I just asked the Lord to pay this. Why would I come to my phone with my wallet? So faith does move the hand of God. So thank you all for watching. I pray that this story was encouraging. You know, and that's why it's good. We should share our testimony. It encourages others. It glorifies God. You know, so I thank you all so much for watching, and I pray that this video was a blessing, and I have more testimonies to share in the near future. Thank you so much for watching, and God bless.